Hello everyone. Today we'll be touching on pullback strategy. We'll be touching on 3 different types of pullbacks that can help you better your entries when you trade the markets, either uptrend or downtrend. Let's get started. Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome to Think Growth. And guys, let's get started. But before we get started, please guys, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Help the channel grow. Today we will be looking at pullback strategy. We'll be looking at 3 different types of pullbacks that are in the markets that you can look into trading. These are pullback strategies that can help you better your trading, like I said. So the first one, guys, I want us to look at it. We're going to be looking at a shallow pullback. A shallow pullback, guys, is a mini pullback. Or first of all, let's start by let's first start by understanding what is an uptrend. An uptrend, guys, is a thing that looks like this. This is an uptrend going to the upside. Okay. Maybe let me try to change my color there. This right here is an uptrend. Uptrend. So in this uptrend here, guys, we get impulses and pullbacks. Impulse and pullbacks are what makes the trend. So basically what we have here, we have an impulse, which is this. That's our impulse. Okay, now this is a bit too much. Let's try use something lighter and smaller. So we have an impulse, which is this, the leg to the upside, and we have a pullback. A pullback which will be this small leg to the downside. Remember, guys, we're in an uptrend. So what we want to do, we want to buy the markets, meaning we want to take advantage of these moves going up. We want to take advantage of these moves going up. That's what we look into buying. So with that being said, in a downtrend, we want to take advantage of these moves going down. These ones right here going down. That's what we want to enter. We're looking for that. Every single time that's when you're looking for an entry, you're looking for that type of move. You want to take the markets down. So I've just first wanted us to understand what are pullbacks, and what are impulses. So from them, I want us to first touch on shallow pullback. A shallow pullback, guys, it looks like something like this. A shallow pullback is a correction or continuation pattern. Is a continuation pattern to the trend that it was going to. Because remember, if it's in an uptrend, you have the market going up. But now, because it has to correct, it has to breathe, it forms these things called pullbacks. There's a lot of them, continuation patterns. But this is one of them that I wanted to touch on, pullbacks, 3 different types of them. So with that being said, we have an impulse, we have a pullback. From this impulse, a pullback, impulse, pullback, impulse, pullback. And then we have an impulse and a pullback. So I wanted first to touch on the shallow pullback. The shallow pullback is this one, guys. This one here, why we call it a shallow pullback, because it never retraced to the actual, it never retraced back. Hold on, guys. It never retraced. Okay, just give me a sec. Alright, let's remove this quickly. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So basically what happens with this one, it never retraced to the previous high. The previous high with this one is this one right here. This is our previous high. So how we then identify these is that the market must pull back down to these areas right here. The market must pull back down to these areas right here, but the price never did that. The price in fact turned at this area right here. So with that being said, in most cases, how you would actually look into entering this one, a lot of traders, they do it, they enter in different type of ways, but there are two different ways that I know of, that I specifically personally trade them with. And I like to call these ones, I call them flag patterns. I call them a flag. These are flag, not flag patterns. This is a flag. I call this one a flag. The first way to trade this one is that you wait for the breakout. This is a breakout trade. You can wait for it. When it breaks out right there, you can enter the markets with your stop loss down around these areas. And the second one is that you would enter the markets at the break of that high. You would enter right there with your stop loss still underneath. Basically what you can do, your stop loss can be around lower than this previous high, just slightly lower, maybe around this area, every time you enter something that looks like this, because it can still pull back down, guys. That's what you must know. But this is a way that you can enter the market by a break up here, or a counter trend line, or a break on a previous high. That's how you enter the shallow pullback. We'll go back on it, guys. Just wanted to touch on the medium pullback and the deep pullback. So the medium pullback, this is how it works right here. We have a medium pullback. So what makes a medium pullback is an impulse right here and a pullback. And what makes it a medium pullback is that the market actually reached these areas right here. Which are these areas? The market actually reached the previous high. This is our previous high. The market actually came into that area right there and entered the previous high. That's how we identify that this is a medium pullback. Medium pullback. This is our medium pullback. It bounced right there. That's our place of zone. That's our zone right there. The market was basically rejected. This was at this point here we had a resistance level, but then the market came down and broke it. Now has turned it into support level, support zone. This is our support area, and then from this place here we are going up. So you would like to look for a buy around that area right here, and then when you, yeah, this is where you would look for your buys. Your buys will come from this area right here. This one you traded. This is the best way to trade this one. Is that it's at its low, at the zone of the previous high. That's how you trade the deep the medium pullback. Okay, guys, and then we're gonna move on to the deep pullback. So what makes a deep pullback, guys, is what makes a deep pullback? Just give me a sec. What makes a deep pullback? Hold on. Let's remove that. Okay, what makes a deep pullback? Well, basically in a deep pullback, guys, what we have is a impulse, pullback, impulse, and a pullback. So right here at this area, remember, in this one we have, you can even call it both, because we have an impulse that pull back to this area here, which means this by itself is a medium pullback. This one here, right here, is a medium pullback. This one right here, this is what you consider a medium pullback, which means your buy would be at these areas right here. This is your buy right here, and then a deep pullback is gonna give you an impulse up and it's gonna drop all the way down. It's not gonna come to this area where you're looking for a buy right there at a place of support. at your zone right there at the previous high. It's not going to do that. It's going to break that support area. It's going to come all the way to the previous low. This is where you're going to be looking to enter in your markets. It's going to come to the previous low, and then right here at this area, you'll be looking for your buys with your stop loss. With your stop loss right about those areas right there. We'll be looking into the markets. We'll see how it actually works. And with the downtrend, it's the exact same thing, just the opposite of everything we just did. With the downtrend, you have a pullback, you have an impulse going to the downside. This is your bearish move. And then you have a pullback. Now, in this particular instant, what you'll be looking for, sorry guys about that. In this particular instant, what you'll be looking for an entry at these areas of your previous lows as the market begins. This is your place of entry. This is where you start looking for opportunity to enter the markets. Yes, this is actually an opportunity where you enter the markets. Right here at this area, you'll be entering the markets with your stop loss run about those areas. You enter the markets right here, and then it pulls back down. This one here, guys, is what we call a medium pullback strategy. Yeah, this is a medium pullback. Medium pullback, impulse, pullback. It pulled back to the previous lows right there. That's where it pulled back. It pulled back right there, and then what happens is that you look for your sells at this area right there. That's where you look for your sells. This is a medium pullback. We move on to the next one. The next one will be we have okay, let me just remove this quickly. The next one, what we have is a deep pullback. So a deep pullback, like I said, guys, we have an impulse comes back up, which makes this a deep medium pullback. This right here is what we call a medium pullback at this particular area. So this one qualifies as a medium pullback. You would look for your entries. Can I just remove that so you can see? You would look for your entries at this area right here. When you look for your entries, you're going to be selling your market right there. Your stop loss will be right about those areas. You sell the markets, it goes up with an impulse move. When you sell the markets at this area with an impulse move, your stop loss is around those just give me a sec. Your stop loss is around those areas right there. So with that being said, if your stop loss is right there, you've entered the markets right at this area. The market goes, gives you an impulse down, and it comes back, giving you a pullback. Now we're in a downtrend. Anything that goes up is a pullback. We're looking for opportunity to re-enter the market. So at this area right here, this is where you'll be looking for your entry. And that doesn't happen because you had this pullback, this impulse move, and then you're looking for a buy at sell there, and it doesn't give you that. So what happens is that you'll usually look for an opportunity at this area. If this area only was broken and did not give you the right candlesticks confirmation. So what you do with that, excuse me, you look for your sells, you look for your sell right here, and then from there, you look for your sell right here, and then your stop loss somewhere around those areas. And then we're looking at that's your deep pullback, guys. This is a deep pullback. That's how it works. And then we have a shallow pullback. Shallow pullback. What makes a shallow pullback is that it has an impulse, but it does not come all the way to the area of supply or the area of resistance. The area of resistance, it does not come all the way to the area of resistance. It does not come to your zone. So what happens with this one is that it's a flag. I call it a flag. I know most traders may call it different type of names. This is what works for me. I call it a flag. So with this one, there are two different type of ways you can enter. Look into entering this one. It's a counter trend line. You draw a counter trend line on the break of the counter trend line, right about those areas right there. When the candle breaks out there, you take your trade with your stop loss just above the previous low. Just above the previous low. This is how you trade this one. And then oh, the second one, sorry guys. The second one, the second entry that you can look into entering is that right here at this area on the previous high, on the break of the previous high, you can look into entering the markets right there. When a candle breaks, a red candle, a bearish candle breaks there, you take the trade with your stop loss still at this area right here, above your previous low. That's how you trade a shallow pullback, guys. Guys, I think, excuse me, I think it's time for us to go look at these things and implement them on the real time frame, real charts. Let's go look at them on real charts. Okay, guys, what we're looking at now, we're looking at a shallow pullback. This is a shallow pullback. Reason why it's a shallow pullback is because the price never reached the area. Excuse me. The price never reached the previous high nor the previous low. So the price never reached that area right there, or this area right here. This area right here. So the price never came here, guys. So this what makes it a shallow pullback. So here we have a shallow pullback, guys. So the price never reached that area. So what happens here, well, how you would trade this one is by entering the markets at right there at the break. You enter the markets at the break of this line, of this guy. You enter right here. After you've entered the markets there, what you do is you want to place your stop loss. Your stop loss will be right here at the bottom, so you don't get stopped out. That's how you do it. This is why it's then identified as a shallow pullback, because it does not reach the previous high or nor the previous low. It does not reach the previous high nor the previous low. That's how we identify it's a shallow pullback, guys. And the second one is we have another second one here. See another one here. Or should I maybe let's try see is it okay now? We have a second one. Let's go back where we were. A second one is right there also. Well, how we identify it's a shallow pullback. It's how you see it playing out in the charts. It's how you see him playing out in the chart. You can see this is one of the ways we identify that it's a shallow pullback. It never reaches the previous high nor the previous low. Which is our previous low, is this area right here. It never reaches these areas. So that's how we identify this is a shallow pullback. Okay, so with this one here, how you want to do it, you place also a counter trend line, just like that. On the break of this counter trend line, that's where you take your trade, and your stop loss will be at around these areas right here. Right here, this way you want to place your stop loss. Yeah, you want to place your stop loss around excuse me. You want to place your stop loss around about those areas. And then the second one, what we have here is it's a excuse me. Excuse me, guys. Second one, what we have here, it's a medium pullback. A medium pullback, guys, is okay. Let's do this. A medium pullback is this one right here. Let's identify it first. How we want to trade a medium pullback is that we want it to come to our previous high, and this one, that's what it exactly did. It went up, impulse, pull back down into our area here, and it touched into this area, and then right about that area right there, that's where you would look into entering the markets. That's a bullish harami right there. You would enter the markets right there at that area. So your stop loss would be basically around those areas, these areas right here. Yeah, that's where you would want to place your stop loss onto this one here. Then let's look for a second one. Second one, we have a second one right here, right close next to it. We have another deep pullback, medium pullback, rather. Yeah, medium pullback. We have it right here. The price went up, gave us an impulse pullback down to our previous. The price pulled back down to our previous high. This is our previous high, guys, and the price came back, and then it gave us a hammer. What we have here is a hammer. Good entry. You would enter the markets right there with your stop loss at around these areas right here. Yeah, with your stop loss around about these areas right there. Excuse me, guys. And then the third one that we'll be looking at again is a deep pullback. So a deep pullback is this one right here, guys. So a deep pullback, how we identify a deep pullback is that we had an impulse, gave us an impulse right here. This is our impulse. Pull back down, pull back down to this area. This makes it a, this one makes it a, it did not reach that. Let me see. No, it didn't. So this one here does not qualify as a medium pullback. Rather, we have an impulse here, and then we have a pullback, and then we have a, okay, let's draw it quickly. We have an impulse here, we have a pullback. You would look into entering the markets in there, buy a counter trend. You enter your trade right there by counter trend line. On the break of this, you take your trade. On the break of that, you place your order, and then yeah, you place your order, and then the markets will go straight back up, and then the markets will come straight back down. So in this instant, guys, you would have probably placed a trade right there. So yeah, you would probably place a trade right there with your stop loss around there. It would have stopped you out, but you would have looked for a second opportunity at this area right here. This is exactly how the market works, guys. I'm going to tell you the truth. This is how the market works. The market works this way. Sometimes you win trades, sometimes you lose trades. But most of the time you'll be making money because this is a profitable strategy. I know for a fact. So at this area here, guys, you have an impulse, you have a pullback, you have an impulse, and the market shoots straight down. And the market shoots straight down to the previous low. You'll look for an entry right there at that area. Yes, you'll look for an entry right there at this area right here. So yes, it's an entry. It's a pullback. I mean, impulse up, pullback, impulse up, and a pullback pulling to the previous low, not the previous high. The market never stopped at the previous high. It went all the way down. So you would look for your entry right there. If it never gave you an entry right here, your second opportunity of entry is right here at the previous low. You enter the markets at that area. You place your stop loss right here. That's how you'd look into looking for a deep pullback. That's our deep pullback. And then we're looking for another one right here. We have another one, which is right here. So the market went up. The market went up right here. Pull back. And then the market went straight up like that. At that area right here, we had a pullback, pulling to our previous low. This is our previous low because of the market entries, but this one you have to be more knowing of what's going on, because what we have here, this is a correction, guys, but if you're still new to trading, you won't understand this one. So we can find another one if ever you don't understand. But this was our previous low at this area. This is a previous low. So which means when the price was around this area right here, let me just remove this quickly. When the price was around this area right here, this was another opportunity for you to enter the markets at this area here. So this is what you call impulse, impulse correction, impulse pullback. This is a medium pullback. And then the price went back up and it came back to the previous low right here. This is where you would look to enter the markets. Where you would look to enter the markets is right at this area right here. Right there. That's where you would have entered the markets, and your stop loss would have been approximately around that area right there. You would have entered the markets right there. Nice candle week, and then you had a, this is a very bullish, this is a bullish harami, you would have entered right there. This would have been your entry, and then the markets would have went straight up. And the second one that we have is this one right here. So what we have here, we have an impulse, a pullback, and now we have an impulse, now we have a pullback. Right in this area right here, this is where you would have entered the markets. This is where you would have looked for your buys. You would have looked for your buys at that area right there. So right there, let's zoom in a little bit and let's see what, yes, you would have looked at right there. We have a doji right here. You would have taken your trade right here. We have a nice candle confirmation happening at this area where we should be taking our buys. Right there, you'll take your buy, and you'll place your stop loss at this area, at these areas right here, right about here. This way you would have placed your stop loss, and then the markets would have went from there and went up, broke the previous high, gave you an impulse. Okay, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you guys understood the pullback strategy, the 3 different types of pullback strategies that you can look for in the markets when you're trading Forex. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Please help this channel grow. Please like the video if it was very helpful to you. Like this video. Comment below on which videos you would like us to touch on our next video. Let's look at how we can master better our trading skills, our trading careers, and make profit of these markets. Let's look into burying ourselves each and every day, guys. Let's work together. Let's look on how exactly we can trade the markets. There are plenty of things that you can enter the markets, and this is one of those things. There are a lot of ways of analyzing the markets. We're going to touch on all of them. I ask guys that you subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Thank you. In growth.